Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of Let's Talk Footy featuring Toronto High Park Football Club. I'm your host Shaheen. We have our co-host Fiona here. Hi Fiona, it's been a while. Good to see you.
Has been a while.
Yeah. We also have three new faces at our club as our guests today. We have our new manager of coach development, Sergi. Hi Sergi, welcome. We have our new U13 plus manager of competitive, Humberto, and we also have Worrell, who's the U8-U12 program manager for the girls side. So hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the show and welcome to the club.
Thanks for inviting us here.
My pleasure. Before we get started, Fiona wanted to ask you guys something to start some beef between some of us, maybe. Fiona,
well,
I'm going to leave it up to you. I'm not going to.
Beef between Shaheen and you three, because I'm the one who doesn't want soccer. But Shaheen, you will be happy to hear that I have been watching the Arsenal games recently because my dad's like a huge Arsenal fan. So that's the only games that I've been watching. But we need to hear who are the favorite teams. Like who are we supporting here?
I'm gonna let the guests go first.
Who wants to start?
Sergi, go for it.
I have that one pretty clear. I'm from a small town 80 kilometers away from Barcelona, and I always have followed FC Barcelona. There's not really a reason why, not because of any player. It's because in there it's more than just going with a player or the good player. It's a culture, right? Like it's something that it's there for your whole life. All your family is there, and you just love it.
Sergi, you're lucky I wasn't one of the people that was involved in the interview when you joined the club. Yeah, I'm joking. All right. Humberto, how about yourself?
So I'm Portuguese, and I'm a Sporting Club of Portugal fan and supporter. It's a family thing, and that's one of the things that I miss mostly, is to go on the stadium and vibrate and enjoy the game.
Sporting, you said.
Sporting, yeah.
All right, nice one.
No one else, no other clubs in Portugal, just Sporting.
Not even Porto?
Just Sporting, please.
Well, we have a little Iranian player that's doing really well for Porto, so
that's true.
I'm a Porto fan for the moment.
Yeah.
In Portugal. Let's just say that. And Worrell, yourself?
Yeah, no, that's always an interesting question. The first league I started watching was the English league. I didn't like it until a certain coach went there, Jose Mourinho. So my first team was Chelsea that I started to like, but I realized that I like Mourinho more than I like the club. So wherever he goes, that's where I go. So I could tell that my favorite team now is AS Roma. The ones I definitely don't like are Tottenham and Man United, because I didn't like the way they treated him. So that's it for me.
We have a big Mourinho fan. I'm also a Mourinho fan as well. I think Sergi has something to say about that.
Great coach. He's a great coach. I mean, everything he does in front of the cameras is just an act. I mean, he's one of the smartest coaches in the world for sure.
Yeah, that's why I think I gravitated towards him when he was at Chelsea. I thought he brought something new. So I've been with him since then.
Just a tip for Fiona. Fiona, if you wanna, if I were you, I would pick a better team to.
Okay, I know they're awful. They're absolutely awful.
Out of every team you could have picked,
it's not even my team. I'm not the one supporting. I just sit there, watch the game, and my dad gets angry. That's about how it goes.
You should be happy. It's probably one of the team with the most memes around the world. Like, I never seen more memes with any club than with Arsenal.
Rightly so. All right, I'm just teasing. Thank you everybody. It's good to know what clubs you support and why, because I'm sure if our players are listening, they'll get excited about some of the answers you guys gave. But let's get the conversation going and let's make it a bit more serious. Obviously, you're new to the club, so it's important for you guys to talk about a little bit about yourselves and where you come from, your background, so that our listeners, our players, parents, other coaches, people in our community can get to know you a little bit. And then we'll get into more difficult questions after that.
Perfect. So I'm from a small town 80 kilometers away from Barcelona. I started playing soccer since I was 4 years old, really young. I never stopped. It has been always my biggest passion. And I started coaching with 16 years old. I don't know by then, but it became another huge passion. And while I was taking my university degree in biotechnology, I started studying as well at the same time all the coaching licenses from Spain. I did all of them, the 3 levels that there's there, including the UEFA A. In 2014, I was in the selection process for coaches for FC Barcelona, for the academy in there. I was like to get in. I started working there right away in several camps. I traveled like to a lot of countries. I was in USA, Sweden, Denmark, China, Azerbaijan, Russia, Colombia, and more. I don't even remember leading camps. And in 2015, end of 2015, I started leading international projects from the club. First in China, then I moved to Edmonton, Alberta. I stayed there for 4.5 years, and a while ago I moved to Ontario, and I started working for Hyde Park FC.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that. Humberto.
Yeah, so I started playing soccer in Portugal with 13 years old. I stopped playing with 27, 28 when my son was born. And that's when I moved to coaching. I started losing the passion for playing, and I had my last coach asked me to join him to be his assistant coach, and that's how everything started. It was in 2009. During my first years, I had the pleasure to to work with players who got to a really high level. Since playing Champions League, since playing for the national team a couple times, it was an amazing experience and a pleasure to be part of the development. In 2013, I moved to Canada, and I was coaching for Sporting FC here. When I came to Canada, I had my UFAB license already. And then on the last few years, I went to North Toronto, and now I'm here. During all this time, I keep working on my education. I had my National B, the youth license. I'm currently doing a master's in tactical periodization, and I'm also part of the National A license at this point. And it's a pleasure to be here at Hyde Park.
Yeah, we're sharing the classroom, right, Humberto? We're in the same classroom, same cohort.
Nice. The education never stops, right? The education
never stops. There's always place to and time to learn.
100%. Thank you. Good one. Worrell, how about yourself?
Yeah. So I started playing about the same as Umbrella, I think about 12. Before that, I used to play a sport called cricket, not so much here. I don't see it as much. But then I started to enjoy soccer a little bit more, so I moved over at about 12. At 14, I got the first real taste of soccer. I went to Norway in a team that, they selected from Jamaica to go and represent the country. I started to like it there. I thought, for a moment I was going to go professional, but I came back, still stayed in soccer. I found it though that I enjoyed the academic side a little bit more. So I went on to university. I played in university as well, but I was more on the academic side. So I got a master's degree in civil engineering, structural engineering. In my final year of university, I realized I didn't enjoy it as much. And I wanted to, I think I was a difficult player to coach, right? Because I always wanted to coach. I always wanted to come with processes and things like that. So in university, I was enjoying it. I thought I wanted to do better processes to make players enjoy it more. So I stopped and I started to do what's intramural coaching. So that's where I got my first taste in coaching. Finished my education, moved to Canada. Started with House League, just coaching there again because I had engineering. I couldn't make a full-time commitment. It was about 2016. thought I figured I'd keep moving back and forth. And I thought that engineering was getting in the way of my coaching. So I started to take, like small steps backward to get away from engineering, a bit by bit. Probably working at companies for maybe 4 months and then quit because I wanted to go do my license and I wouldn't get time off. And then I go apply for another job. About 2017, 18, I decided, hey, it's about time. So I found other things to do financially and got more involved into soccer. Coached against High Park in a few times with different clubs in the GTA. Always admired, like what they believed and what they looked like. Eric, I've had some sessions with Eric. I've observed him coach and thought he, was a good person to be among. And I've always had an eye in High Park, and now I'm here with them in this position, and I'm just looking forward to everything that comes with it, and more on the process side because that's what I think I enjoy the most, and see how I could use my experience as an engineer to somewhat improve the process and the delivery of the sessions and just the delivery of the game to the players. Yeah, so that's a little bit of my background. Not so much as soccer, but
No,
I still enjoy it.
it's good
Yeah.
because I did physics myself. I graduated from physics, and people always ask me, like, why are you coaching? Like from physics to coaching, what changed? And I don't know what changed, the passion for the game. Like I enjoyed it. So I took it was a big change, obviously. So I'm glad there's people similar to me now at the club that come from a different background, from a scientific background, and decided to pursue coaching. And I'm not alone now. So
Yeah,
I'm glad
at
to
some
hear that.
point, force equals a mass times acceleration gets boring, right? You need that, like uncertainty and that, like
sure.
surprise. And yeah, that's what I get now that I couldn't get from engineering.
For sure,
Yeah.
for sure. Fiona, what are you studying?
Right. Okay. Well, currently my major is equity studies.
Right.
And then I have 2 minors in women and gender studies and sexual diversity studies. So it's kind of just all over the place. I know what I want to do, but then at the same time I have no idea what I want to do because it can change at any point.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I'm asking, right? No matter how long you're doing something for, there comes a point you're like, you know what, I want to try something else. So, don't worry about that.
Never late for it.
Yeah, you figure it out as you go, I think.
I have a degree in accounting, and I never work in accounting before. Never. I did the internship because it was part of the course, but after that I was always like related with sales and the last few years with construction, but I was never working in accounting at all, and I don't like it at all.
I never put the foot in a lab. I'm a biotechnologist. Outside from university, I never put the foot in a lab. Always in the grass.
Yeah, interesting. But I'm sure that the skills that you learn and you build in your studies and in your degrees and in your jobs, they come into play. I think I sometimes use the skills that I had to use in physics and coaching. I really do, and I think it's important. That's the beauty of having diversity. People from different backgrounds, not just culturally, but also different educational backgrounds, because that's what makes us. We learn different things and we have different approaches to the game, to coaching, and that's what makes it beautiful, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So we'll kind of answer this, but I'm gonna go back to Fiona, and then I want everybody to answer. What is your one favorite thing about coaching? Like, if you really had to give one reason, why did you decide to become a coach? For me, I love the game so much. I realized I'm not going to be the player that I want to be. So I decided, you know what? I have a better chance in coaching to stay in the game and to learn and to teach it and to continue learning it. So I decided to become a coach. But how about you guys? Why are you still in coaching, Fiona, after playing? You're still playing. You're in university.
Yes.
But you're coaching.
I don't know. You're also the second person at the club who has said that they thought they weren't going to go very far professionally, and then they decided to coach. But I don't know. Like, I started when I was 16. Like, I just really liked working with kids. That's why I started at Active Start, and I really enjoyed playing soccer. And I think my passion for soccer has grown like exponentially through coaching, but as well as playing at the same time. Like I'm learning so much while also teaching so much, which feels so cool. Like it's like this weird dynamic where I'm like ingesting all of this knowledge all the time from whoever's coaching me. And then I'm giving like simplified versions of what I've learned like through my career, I guess you'd call it, of playing to these 8-year-olds. And like I absolutely love it. Like I don't know. I just love teaching and like showing them things that I know and that I've learned, because it feels like almost like I'm being tested on my knowledge without actually being tested, like in the best way possible.
Well, now that we have a new manager of coach development, you are being tested. I think Sergi is taking notes and giving you marks right now as you speak. So be careful.
He's giving me a report card.
He has his pen ready. How about you guys, gentlemen?
I started my favorite. I mean, it's really difficult for me to say one favorite thing. I think that Worrell mentioned something before, which is the process. And I think all these little processes that from game to game, looking the players getting better practice after practice, all these little things. And to be honest, when I started coaching with 16, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just started coaching because, oh yeah, that looks fun. But I had no idea what I wanted to do. I think that I was really lucky at the beginning. The first couple of years, I coached pretty good teams. We kind of win almost everything, not because of the coach. Full responsibility to the players. I had no idea what I was doing, but it awaked something in me that it was like I really want to do that with my life, right? And again, as I said, when I was taking all my degree and all that, I decided to go for the coaching certificates, and I just loved it.
Humberto.
I think the most of us started with from the same point, just the passion for the game. I was such bad player and I made so many weird choices and wrong choices on my career as a player that didn't allow me to go a little bit more further. So I started coaching because of the passion for the game, and the environment where I'm coming from in Portugal. No matter which level you are playing or you're coaching, there's always pressure on the coach. If you don't win, you're gonna be fired. Even if you're coaching the U10s, if you don't win games, you're fired. So I always love that pressure on the good way and in terms of performing for the result. When I moved to Canada, and especially on the last few years, I changed the way like I coach so much, and I'm coaching for different reasons. I love the fact that I can impact athletes, that I can inspire athletes, that I can develop athletes not just as players but also as individuals. Especially when I move from coaching male athletes to coach female athletes, I was not prepared at all. I was not ready at all. I struggled so much, but it was amazing. It made me show way different, too many different perspectives of what coaching is specifically here in Canada. So I love the fact that we can inspire, that we can develop individuals, building up their confidence, develop their personality. I think it's amazing. It's one of the reasons why I love coaching right now, more than winning.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, before you answer, I'm sure since you're a Mourinho fan, I watch almost every interview Mourinho has. Don't you think if you couldn't see Humberto's face, don't you think he sounds a lot like Jose Mourinho?
He kind of does, yeah.
Portuguese accent, but your
Shaheen,
actual
Yeah,
voice.
even sometimes his face like sometimes jumps into kind of a Marina thing as well.
I promise I was thinking the same,
Yeah.
but I didn't have the confidence enough to say it to him, like, hey, but when he talks with that accent and all that, and when he told me he loves the tactical periodization, which is the way my Mourinho works, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure that Mourinho will take that as a compliment for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyways, just wanted to mention that. Worrell, go for it.
So yeah, like for me, again, it starts. I played soccer. I really enjoyed it. Um, and there's a thing to say: do what you enjoy. But there's one thing I didn't enjoy in soccer, and it's like, getting better. I wasn't a very good player, and I found that I was good at engineering. And after I finished my bachelor's degree and was doing my master's, it was like a moment of reflection. This is easy. I was teaching as well, and it's kind of like putting everything together and say, okay, then what is it gonna look like? And for me, it was like, hey, I enjoy soccer and I enjoy putting processes together. I'm good at that. So I coined this mantra that I've had since then. It's like, do what you enjoy getting better at. And I find that that's soccer for me, and it allows me to do that every day. It allows me to do something that I want to get better at. As an engineer, I can't remember going to an engineering conference. I've never been to that. As soon as 5 o'clock is over, then that's it for me in engineering. I would do soccer right through. I would do soccer at my engineering desk. I think about something, I'm doing it there. So that's what really got me like saying, hey, I need to do this because I really enjoy getting better at this. And when I started coaching, kids, and I would start to get feedback from parents. And one of them was how the kid is starting to answer back, right? And at first it didn't make sense to me. And then I realized, oh, that's a part of the confidence. Now they come here and they can do things in soccer, and it just shows in different areas of life, right? And one is, being able to go and say, Mom, have you considered this? What can I do differently? And that to me started to bring the spark to say, hey, like I could help my players as well. And it's more than just soccer. It's not just about, winning games, it's about soccer. And then that led me to my second mantra, like my goal is to help players believe in themselves. And that's something I enjoy doing every day. And I find joy in doing that every single day, and to see players grow up, come in with their backs, hump over. And then by the end of the season, they're walking straight up and being confident. Like I have a player who would never talk, and then during the games they're given instructions. So those are the things, the little wins that really keep me going. And again, for me, being bored of engineering and just knowing what the outcome is going to be, going to a session not knowing what the kids are going to produce today, what the game is going to look like, that's just something I enjoy. Like the uncertainty, having a new challenge every minute. Like the last session I went, I had a perfect plan. I went there, it wasn't going to work. I had to change everything. Then but to being able to think about the process and everything. So I don't know, man. I enjoy getting better at that, and I don't know how I'm going to stop doing it. So that's what keeps me in the game.
Yeah, and we have in science we say when you write reports and when you write the methods section, when you have to write exactly what the procedure was so that somebody
Yeah.
else will repeat the same project.
Yeah.
That would never apply to soccer. I've always said you can run the exact same session with the exact same players on 2 different days and under the exact same conditions, but it could look completely different. So I completely agree with you there.
Something's going to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's amazing because I had that experience when I started coaching female athletes, and I was, for me, soccer at that point, for me, soccer was soccer. You receive from here, you pass there, and it's easy. Everybody's going to understand that. It's so simple, 2 touches, and it's
Yeah.
not at all. There are so many other constraints, factors, internal, external factors that going to affect all that environment that it's unbelievable, and it's it's amazing. It's amazing because
Yeah.
it's challenging us every single session, different times, different moments inside of the same session. I love it. It's amazing.
Yep.
Berto, let me rephrase. It looked like Mourinho, but I'm going to rephrase Johan Cruyff, one of the most influenced persons in FC Barcelona. He said that playing soccer or football is easy, but playing easy football is one of the most difficult things in the world.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Good one. Almost all of you mentioned that you're not coaching for winning. Like Humberto, you didn't want that, or Worrell, you mentioned it was about the process for you. Now, this is a bit controversial, and we have still a current player here, Fiona. I think the rest of us are either too old or not good enough to continue to play. So this is the challenge, right? Especially at younger ages, winning is not the goal. The goal is to develop the players. It's the long-term development that eventually, when winning does really matter, then they can win. But every single day, in every single game, all of us come across the situation where, yeah, you're trying to develop players, but the players want to win the game. You probably want to win the game. So where is that line? And Fiona, you as a player, when your coaches focus more on winning, or when your coaches focus more on the development and the objectives that you worked on during the week or in the past 2 weeks, and focusing on those goals and objectives, which one mattered to you more? Did you still care about wanting to win the game? Not now, maybe if when you were a bit younger, let's say, or did you, when your coaches said, it's about, we're working for a long-term plan, it's about the long-term project, did you believe that? Did you agree with that, or did you in the back of your mind say, yeah, but I still want to win the game?
It's okay. It's kind of difficult because I think that I've had coaches who've always just wanted to win. Like, obviously they want to develop the players, whatever, but like they want to win. Like, there's a almost like a vibe where you can just tell that when you get to a game, like whatever you learned at practice, like, yeah, you have to apply it to the game, but like you're there to win. Like, you're there to compete and to win. Like, that is your object. And like I don't, like, now really badly I like to win. Like, I'm such a competitive person, but I also somehow simultaneously like work in things that I've learned into games, and then that gets me way more excited than winning. Like, anytime I do something that I've learned, and then I'll go and like I'll tell Mark, and I'll be like, Mark, I use this. He goes, well, that's great. And then I get so excited. Like, I'm like, yes, I learned something. Like, I don't know. There's a weird line between both. Like, where I don't know where it just, they're kind of blurry. It's like a blurry line. So I don't know.
I know, that's what I'm asking. I want to pick everybody's brain. What about you guys?
So I think everything depends of the environment where we are and the players that we have in hands. Let's say that if we have a very skill setful group of players, we can. And I do it. I had to do it, and I was not used to do it, but I had to start going this way because other way I would have very frustrating experiences. So if you have a group of players that they actually can compete to win, you can promote the player development, what we are looking for during the game or the practice, what the goals are, and you can put the goal actually as a goal. Now, if you have a different group of players that you know that they're not able to win games, we have to set up a different type of goals. For me, I don't talk about winning or losing. I mention a lot of times being successful. Being successful sometimes on a specific age group, it might be just crossing the midfield line. Sometimes it's already a success because their background, probably on the past, they were not even able to do it. So if we jump into a team and we're going to talk about winning, they naturally going to know that it's not true. It's not going to happen. They understand that. The players are smart. So I always look at the process. And if we have a team, or if I'm coaching a team that we know that we have conditions to win, even winning is not my main goal, my main focus. My main focus will be the process, because we can go to the field and try to apply something that we have been learning on the practice, and we might lose, but we lose with our philosophy, we lose with our principles, we lose trying to do something right. I rather that than focus on winning and don't develop the players, don't play with quality, don't try to do the right things, and on the last minutes we just kick the ball forward, the defender does a mistake and we win 1-0, and everybody is going home thinking that we are the best team, all those stuff, and at the end sometimes maybe you're not. So I always tell my players that we cannot win every game, but we can choose how we're going to lose it, because we can lose it with our principles, with our identity, try to do the right stuff. Now, I think the process, focus on the process, it's a better approachment, because it will release the pressure from the coach, the pressure on the players, the pressure from the parents, And the process is a long-term process that the players will learn from it, and actually the goal will show up, or the ball into the net will show up on the future.
100%.
Yeah.
I think that the problem here is how we're used to measure the success, right? Because sometimes the success is just putting the ball inside of the net, and we forget about everything else than before. And maybe, I don't know, player in the game did 4, 5, 6 incredible passes that he was not capable of doing it before, but we are not able to see that because the player who passed the ball to just shoot it out, you know. And I think that here the perfect example of how we do measure success is that typical action that I think, or I'm sure everyone have seen it: 2 players against the goalkeeper. The player with the ball decides to pass. The player who shoots misses the net. The coach yelling from the bench, "But shoot!" And then if you decided to shoot and you miss, the coach will yell you, "Why don't pass?" So it's the success is just to put the ball inside of the net. Fortunately, I think that with time this has been erased, and we are more smart, and we can measure the success. Well, not more smart, but measure the success a little bit in a different way. And I think that the line is where the coach or a person jeopardize the development of any player just because of winning. If you don't put a certain player certain minutes, or if you put that player in that position all the season because you know he's going to, I don't know, central back is going to intercept most of the actions from the other team, and that player, 8-year-old, is going to be stuck every single game, every single minute in that position. I know it's not good for his development or her development, but he's going to win games. So I think that the line is there, right? Like, I want to win. I'm the first one. I want to win. I'm competitive and I like to win, but not at any cost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, that's always an interesting thing. I think the challenge is to make sure that the right message get to the right person. I think coaches need to know that it's not always about winning, but I think my players need to know that they need to win. And if I was supposed to coin the message, I would say probably the objective is to develop a desire to win. It's everyone has to have that desire to win. Now the question is how are coaches going to approach it and how are the players going to approach it. I don't want my players to tell me that it's like they could do better, but they didn't do better because there's not an expectation to win. So that's where the challenge comes in, is to make sure that like kids know that they need to give their best. If the result isn't there, then that's fine, but were you showing that desire to win? And then coaches need to support them. Okay, then as Sergi said, no kid wants to lose. So if they didn't score, I'm sure the question is, was there a desire to score? And if they scored an easy goal, but there was no desire and they just got lucky because the opponent wasn't good, then there was no desire. So we need to also address those as well, right? So I think the thing is, who gets what message? Is the objective of the game to win? It is. And through that, the desire to win, you learn lessons as well. So I know that's my take with it. I'm a little bit on the win fence, but it's about managing it. Manage that expectation to win rather than removing that expectation to win, right? Because I think it's important for us to have that drive. And naturally, the kids want to win, right? Every game, it doesn't matter. I don't keep the score, but my players always know the score. So how are we going to manage that and get them to develop within that, like mindset that they're already in? So that's my take on that.
Yeah, and I think if you can win, what Humberto also said, with being honest to your identity, to your philosophy, the way you're practicing, the way you're trying to learn soccer, which is at the club, we're trying to teach soccer to players in a certain way. Then the win will come. Maybe it won't be as consistent every single time, but over the years, over a year or 2 or 3 years, it will become more and more consistent, and it will be more in your hands rather than just winning at any cost and then forgetting all the things that you're trying to implement and practice and in games, and then 2-3 years from now, you're like, okay, so that doesn't work now because all the players are big and fast. I don't have that advantage anymore. I was playing, I'm not gonna name the team, but I was week or two ago, I was playing a team. One of their strongest players was doing long throw-ins into the box like a corner kick. So that was very interesting to see at that age. But yeah, we're coming close to the end of the podcast, but I wanna ask another question, which is, why did you guys choose to join Toronto Hyper Football Club, and how do you think you will impact the club and make the club better? This sounds like an interview question, but I already see a pattern. I see it. I really do. You're all smart. You're all have great background, great education, great experience, and I can see how you guys are going to help the club become even better. I really believe that. But I want to see. I want to hear it from you guys specifically, so that the message is clear to our audience and to our listeners. So, shoot.
I joined the club because of the project. The idea. I had a conversation with Jason before joining the Toronto High Park. He explained me the idea that the club had in mind for the future. I got really excited. It was really interesting from the very beginning. And I think that this is the main reason I joined the club. I was looking for an opportunity or a project where I could really have an impact on, and I think that the main characters of that game are always the players and the ball. They're going to be always the players and the ball, not the coaches, not the whoever is in charge of the club. The main characters are the players and the ball. But I think, of course, it's impossible for a single person to have a good influence in all of them at the same time. So I think that in the position that we all are, we can have a really positive impact within the channels of communication towards that players, which are our coaches. And this is the main reason I joined the club.
That's good. The messengers between the players and the club are the coaches. So you're gonna be working with the coaches, Sergi. You're gonna focus on helping the coaches, making them better, developing the coaches. No, it's true, right? Developing them in the long term so that our players become better and play better.
I'm not sure making. I mean, you can say making them better, but because making them better seems that I'm bringing them more answers than questions, and I think it's the other way around. I expect them to have more questions than answers after my, I don't know, coaching seminars, after all our interactions. I don't expect to set a pathway and hey, everyone follows that one because I said so. I don't have the absolute truth, so I expect some coaches to have questions to discuss with me, and I will try to convince them, or they will need to try to convince me. And I think that this is a positive way to go.
100%, because then soccer or football wouldn't evolve, right? Look how much it has evolved over the years, and if there's no discussions or challenges, me challenging your ideas or your philosophy, then we wouldn't evolve. We'd just stay stuck. So I agree with you.
There will be just one thing is not negotiable, which is the love for the ball. I love the ball. I hope the coaches to love the ball, for the players to love the ball.
And you can only love a ball that's pumped. You can't love a flat ball.
That's right. You know it. You know it.
Biggest one. How about you, Humberto?
So the reason why I accept this challenge, it was first, Toronto High Park is one of the biggest clubs on the city, and who has a strong position on the community, and I think that it's extremely it's a pleasure to be part of an organization who has such impact on the city and on the community. Secondly, it's an opportunity that I'm gonna have to apply or to experience my education and to apply my experiences and my knowledge, and at the same time, like, Sergi mentioned, I see this as an opportunity to learn and to develop myself, because I'm sure that I'm going to learn from all the coaches, from all the managers, from everybody who's going to be on and off the field. And my ideas plus everyone else's ideas will make me think and see the game and the organization and the position in a different way. So at the end, I'm looking forward to learn from everyone. And I think that if we get to the point, or if we create an environment behind the scenes, outside of the field, where we share ideas, opinions, not just us, or not just the managers or the leaders, but also between ourselves and the coaches, at the end, the ones who want to get better are the most important, and the most important ones are the players. Because if we are not organized, and if you don't have knowledge off the field about what's going on off the field, we're never going to be able to perform on the field. So I think the opportunity to develop a positive environment it's amazing. It's an amazing challenge for me, and I love it.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
So for me, I've been coaching in GTA for a while, and I've always admired High Park. Again, as I mentioned, from the days of Eric, and I've been watching the kind of like moves that the clubs are making, and I've had the pleasure of working with Eddie at Toronto FC with the juniors, and seeing that he's now part of this. Eric, GST is a part of this, and like these are all football people. These are all football people who want to see the game better. And Hyde Park has always been a community club, and something like for me, it's always important for me to be a part of something that I believe in, and I believe strongly that soccer can bring a community together. And where I'm from, that's what it's done. It's given me almost everything in my life as well, and that's why I was attracted to being a part of this and coming on board and seeing that what I saw on the outside is what's inside. That's what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to make it more of a community club. We live by the mantra, community united through soccer. And for me, coming on board, it's in this role that I'm in. It's a very personal one as well, because I have two daughters. Some of you might know, 5 and 3, and for me, it's always the question: what are they going to do when they're ready to play soccer? Where am I going to bring them? And I've been thinking about that for a while. And I remember last moment when Canada won the Olympics, and they were both there cheering. First, I try not to get them into soccer as much. I'm being honest, because I don't want them to pick it because of me. But they've just
that was
rallied.
gonna be. I was gonna ask you
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
I'm trying my best not to like try to get soccer, and then I try to hide the soccer balls and everything. They always try to go and find it and like break things. But it's there, it's a part of what they enjoy as well. So for me now, it's the question is where they're gonna go. And in the role that I'm in, being able to oversee the mentorship of the girls from U8 to U12, it's a responsibility for me to make sure that this program is one that they're going to be a part of, and someone that they're going to, they're going to feel empowered. Like Humberto said, it's somewhere where they're going to benefit. And that's what I'm hoping that I could bring, to the table at High Park, is help to continue to grow and make sure that this program is one that's going to be good for my daughter, and hopefully for the daughters, in the GTA, and to make it the standard for girl program in the era. So that's my ambition, that's my dream, that's what's driving me. And of course, I get to do it with a project that I believe in, with like I think an incredible staff. So yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. I'm sure all the parents on the girls' side are very glad to hear that, since you have two daughters yourself, and you know what it means to have little kids, little daughters, and
Yeah.
you care about it, and you're passionate about it. So that's awesome. Fiona, is there anything you want to mention or you want to ask or discuss?
I think all three of you have mentioned that you have kids. Is soccer an expectation that something they're going to go into? Is it kind of like, well, I love soccer, they're going to do soccer? Or is it like maybe they'll get into it if they like it? Like,
I'm going to answer that. I don't have a child.
Okay, we know, Shaheen.
But I'm going to answer that first, because I really
Okay.
want to answer it. I think the correct answer is, we're not going to force it on them, but they're always going to see soccer on TV, and they're going to see the soccer ball around, And if they fall in love with it, then we're 100% going to support it. Am I right or am I right?
But 100%. From my end, I mean, I think that Worrell got the perfect answer. He tries to hide soccer balls, but at the end of the day, his daughters are around soccer the whole day, and then they just love it, right? So with my son, he's still too young to play soccer. I'm not going to force it at all, but I mean, if the day comes and he likes it, of course I'm going to support it. The only thing I will try to kind of force it is to continue that FC Barcelona tradition and not become a Real Madrid fan. That would be hurtful, but if it happens,
I didn't want
I
to
would even support that.
Sergi, I really wanted to end this on a positive, but you're pushing it now. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. I mentioned this to Ayo a couple of months ago. I think Barcelona is in a black hole at the moment, and it's dark times for Barcelona. So yeah, I have a feeling
Just saying that they lost 4-1 a couple hours ago against the Portuguese team on the U19. Just saying.
Who did?
Barcelona U19.
But because we have the good ones on the first team already.
Of course.
The 17-year-old kid playing today is going to start against
Always
the
good excuses.
Always
good excuses. Sure.
Fiona, you see what you've done here?
No, I didn't. You started it.
Look, I think that soccer is about cycles, right? Like all the teams had their cycle. Even Arsenal had their cycle.
They had or they have?
They had. Yeah. So
I don't remember when.
it was a while ago, but an FC Barcelona will come again. I'm pretty sure. Now we have young stars that they're going to bright as shine as the other ones in a few years.
Time will tell. But going back to what Fiona said, I think it's important if your kid does fall in love with soccer and they want to try soccer and play soccer, I think the most important thing as a parent is to not abuse that and to, because the reality is we've all seen that parent that tries to live their own dream of soccer through their own kids, right? Just because the kid's playing soccer for 1 or 2 years doesn't mean they're going to continue playing soccer. They have every right to change their mind, want to try basketball. As long as it's not baseball, it's all good. But yeah.
Yeah, next time just text me that. You don't need to say it in public, eh? My son is 13 years old, and I of course he loves soccer. He thinks about soccer, I would say, every single moment or every single minute of his day, except when he's sleeping, because even when he goes to school, he's always discussing and talking with his friends about soccer. He wants to take soccer balls to school. Even on his free time, he just likes to play FIFA. So soccer is something that it's really important on his life, and I actually never put too much pressure on him. He's actually a little bit more crazy about it than what I am, and I love it because I think soccer teaches him so many things that he can carry for life outside of the field, and it's amazing. And I love to go to his sessions, to his games, and just relax and watching him and his teammates playing and practicing.
Yell at the coach a little bit.
I love it. Pardon me?
Yell at the coach a little bit.
It is what it is, right?
I don't know. Nice one.
Yeah, I mean, I think I kind of touched on it already, but like for me, like it'd definitely be easier for if my daughter's going to soccer. I don't have to do too many things. I could, it's easier for me. I'll be around something I really enjoy. But for me, and if they choose something else, that's fine for me as well. But deep down, soccer would be nice. And the main thing is, Humberto kind of mentioned is, I don't want to force them into soccer. I don't want it to be a job, So I'm not gonna say, hey, let's go out and do all this thing. If they want to go outside and play soccer, I'm always gonna do that. But I don't want to force it into being a job. They're kids, and I want them to enjoy the things. I want them to enjoy, every other thing that normal kids would get to do, right? And especially me being Jamaican again, where soccer was not as organized as it is here, I got to enjoy it. You know, like I wanted to play for 10 minutes, or I wanted to play for 3 hours, or I could do whatever I want to do, right? I want my daughters to enjoy that as well. And you know, in terms of that, I'd recommend parents, you know, be light on the young kids as well. Let them enjoy it, and they're not going to be professionals now. And parents usually ask me the question, "Hey, coach, you know, what can I do to help my kid?" And I usually say, "Love them. Just love them. You know, like love them and encourage them to do whatever they want to do. I'll take care of the rest, but don't, you know, yeah, don't force them to be professionals at 9." That's what I'd add to it.
And avoid coaching them from the other side. Uh, uh,
If they love them, that's where I get next. I was like, and that coaching thing is not love, so show them some love. But yeah,
No, awesome, awesome. It's really great to hear that. That's it from me, everybody. I have nothing else to ask you or to mention. If there's anything you wanna say, as we come to the closing end of the episode podcast, I'm all ears. If not, then it was a pleasure to host you. I don't know if you guys knew, but we've been doing podcasts for a while now. We were away for a bit, but we're back. So, yeah, it was great chat.
We'll definitely follow it, Shane.
Definitely don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good
I
stuff.
will.
You know?
I will,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us here. It was a great conversation.
My pleasure.